Hey, what is going on, my fellow gaming enthusiasts and Star Wars enthusiasts alike? Welcome back to the channel. This is DMDrayden, and today, guys, it's like that, it's a very special video. This is my Star Wars Day edition video and everything, because today is May the 4th, and as you guys probably know, well, it's Star Wars Day, so May the 4th be with you all. So I did mention in my previous video that I was going to be doing some sort of Star Wars related video today. Well, since I ended up doing a live stream of the original Star Wars Battlefront 2, I decided that today I would go ahead and give you guys a top 10 video of my top 10 personal favorite Star Wars games in my collection. Now again, guys, I did say in my own collection, so these are just out of the Star Wars games I own. There are a lot of different Star Wars related video games out there. So this is just a personal opinions video for what I have. Obviously, I'm not going to cover all of them. Just going to cover some of them, and so that were, you know, most important and more preferable for me. So I'm hoping instead that you guys enjoy and everything, and I'm hoping instead that after the video you guys will of course comment and everything, letting me know what you guys' favorite Star Wars games are. So let's go ahead and get into it. So coming in at number 10, guys, we do have Star Wars Starfighter. This game was one of the earlier Star Wars games that came out in the PS2's life cycle. The reason why I put it at number 10, it's pretty much all aerial combat. As the title implies, it does say Starfighter, so obviously instead that you're going to be in some sort of aircraft and everything, and you're well, it's basically a one-player game. I think that's actually the other reason why is the fact that it was only one player. I mean, I thought that the idea would have been a lot better instead of that had it been like 1 to 2 players, because two-player versus dogfights, you guys know what I mean. But besides that, it was a decently solid game and that, and it was actually really good and that for the PS2's time. So that's the reason I'm putting that at number 10. At number 9, and that we do have Star Wars Bounty Hunter. This is the limited edition cover art, as you can tell. As the name implies, and that you are playing as a bounty hunter, and as we all know, and that if you're a true Star Wars fan, the most known, bounty hunter is Jango Fett from the Clone Wars. Well, actually, arguably Boba Fett's actually more known, but I actually did like Jango and that a lot more. So you do play as him in here. You're basically going around, you're a bounty hunter, so you're obviously hunting people. You're using all of his iconic weapons, such as his blaster pistols, his, flamethrower, rocket launcher, so on and so forth. Was a pretty solid game. Obviously, it was a one-player, didn't have any verser to it, but I mean, I thought it was pretty good for the most part. I thought it was a nice, fresh take on the series. You're not playing as clones or droids or Jedi, but you're playing a bounty hunter. So I thought that was actually pretty cool. So that's at number 9. At number 8 and everything, we do have the game that was basically given or made and after the Revenge of the Sith film, which is obviously Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith. This game was pretty solid. Its story mode was pretty solid. It pretty much played through the events of the third movie, or at least the third movie in the remake series. Again, guys, fans, take it as it is. It is technically supposed to be Episode 3, so that's, you can take it how it is. I thought this game was actually pretty good. Its story was pretty solid, obviously, because it was based off the movie. It did have 1-2 player. You could play 2-player co-op. Or you could play 2-player verser. It actually did have, different modes and that you could play in. The other interesting thing about this and which I thought was really, really interesting, because obviously it's not canon to the movie, is Anakin could actually use Force lightning in this. Which, if you guys know and that he's actually one of the very few Sith that, at least in the movies and that, does not do Force lightning. Yet for some reason they allowed him to do it in this game. I never really understood that. Honestly, I didn't want to, though, because to be honest, I thought he really should have known it and that anyway. So yeah, I mean, I thought this was a pretty solid title, for the most part. Moving right along, that. Now we're going to start getting into some more Xbox games. If you guys don't know, the original Xbox was actually had a lot of really solid Star Wars games on it. It also did have a few Xbox exclusive Star Wars games on it, which I'm going to go into. So coming in at I believe this is number 7 and that. This is Star Wars Republic Commando. Now in here and you're basically leading an elite squad and of clones and on various squad-based missions. This game and so that and everything obviously was early in the Xbox's life. It did have, I believe, and so that it was Xbox Live and so that compatible 1 to 4 player versus. You're basically leading a squad of clones and like that on a bunch of infiltration missions and like that. I thought it was pretty solid, and again, for an original Xbox game, I think it was actually really good for its time. So yeah, guys, that's that. Moving right along, this is actually one of my more favorites and that, but sadly, it still does come at about mid-list, which is Star Wars Jedi Academy. Now, the reason so that this is actually one of 2 games, and so that there was also Jedi Outcast as well. The reason why Jedi Knight Academy and so that and everything was my personal favorite, though, is because it had more customization options for your own character on here. Now, obviously, and so that, but that you could, well, for the most part, and so that you could basically create your character however you wanted. You could make him be a you know, a single-bladed duelist, a dual-bladed duelist, or you know, a saber staff duelist like Darth Maul. Basically, I love the character customization in this game. This game was extremely fun and so that to play Verser and everything. I mean, it was really, really cool. And of course, obviously, like most of the Star Wars games, you could actually choose whether or not you were going down the side of good or evil, so Jedi or Sith, which is obviously cool because, you know, obviously we all, you know, want to make our own characters and stuff like that, and so it did have an RPG element to it, which is what I really enjoyed. So yeah, that's Jedi Knight Academy, guys. You should definitely check it out and everything. A lot of these games and so that are also on PC and Steam. So if you guys and so that are a PC player and everything, and you're interested in these games, you should definitely check out Steam. They usually have these games and so that on sale. They usually don't charge too much for them. Moving right along to yet another Xbox game, and this is probably one of the most famous Star Wars Xbox games out there, which is Knights of the Old Republic. This has got to be literally one of the absolute oldest Star Wars RPGs out there, but it was definitely one of the best. This game literally got a 9.5 out of 10, and I think actually most people actually gave it a solid 10. There's also another game in the series. This is actually the first one. There's also a second one, which was Sith Lords. The reason why I actually enjoyed this game a little bit better is because its story, I think, was a little bit more solid than the second one was. Even though in the second one you did have a little bit more customization options for your character, which, as most sequels go, and so that usually is the case. But again, I think that this was a pretty solid game for the most part and everything. It's definitely one I would recommend. So if you guys and so that can, again, this game is also on Steam. So if you guys are interested in it and so that, make sure to check it out. It's really cool. Moving right along. Okay, now we're starting to get into a little bit more of the modern selection here. So we do have the original, or I'm sorry, not the original, but the first Star Wars Battlefront that did come out on PS4. I thought this game was pretty decent for what it was. The only reason so that why I'm not going to say it was super great is because of the fact that it did not have a story, which I thought that was really disappointing, and so that because, you know, I feel like if it was going to be a remake and not just a remaster of the original, I feel like they probably could have done a lot more with it. But outside of that, the game itself and so that was actually pretty solid. Unlike the first Battlefront, at least I think, you could actually play like, you know, Jedi in here, which was actually an improvement. One of the things, and so that a little fun fact, and if you guys don't know, and so that if you guys don't have this game actually is pretty much a budget title right now. You can literally get it for like 20 bucks and so that anywhere, and all of the DLC in this game is free. That's right, guys. If you go online and like that and everything to the PlayStation Store or anything like that, the Season Pass and everything to this game was made free. So you can get all of the add-on content without having to buy like the Ultimate Edition that came with it and you having to pay more money for it. I just kind of randomly came across that one day as I was just kind of browsing through the store. So yeah, all the DLC is free for this. So if you guys are interested, you guys should definitely pick it up for sure. Moving right along, we have the original Battlefront on PS2. Now, I think some of you guys are probably going to be wondering, so that, well, why are you putting the old Battlefront in front of the new Battlefront? Well, it's pretty much because of the fact that when Star Wars games and so that were extremely popular to me, I was pretty much playing them all and so like that on PS2. I didn't have an Xbox growing up. So I didn't actually have a chance to play a lot of the Xbox titles. If I did play them, they were usually played off of somebody else's. But the PS2 titles were the ones I had, and that's the reason so that why I'm putting the original Battlefront so high up on the list. It did have online mode, and so that, or at least what online mode was back in the day. Plenty of modes to choose from. You could, go clones, droids. You could do creatures versus creatures. You could do, in-space battles and everything. This game was actually very, very popular for the time, guys, and it still holds a very, very close place in my heart. So this was definitely classic Star Wars gameplay and stuff like that, so I definitely really enjoyed it. Coming in and said that at, I believe this is number 9, we do have the newest Star Wars Battlefront in the series. This is Star Wars Battlefront 2. They definitely did a very good job on this game. It did have a very solid story. Little known fact and everything, this story actually took place and such that after the events and such that, in closer to like the First Order, so a lot more up to date and such that in the Star Wars universe, which I thought was okay because I did think it was a very fresh take on the series. We did get some new characters and so that in here you could play as Rey, you could play as Kylo Ren, all of them. Lots of modes, plenty of online play. And from what I hear, and so that they're actually making all of the DLC for this game, and so that free as well. So if you guys and so that out there don't have this game for any such reason, you guys might want to get it and so that, because I mean, free DLC means you can enjoy this game to the fullest without having to pay for it, guys. But again, Battlefront 2, the original and so that was great, and the remake and so that was actually pretty solid. Had a really good story. I played it all the way through. I thought it was really good. So that is number 9. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. We're actually going in reverse order and said that. I'm sorry. That was actually number 2. Going on to number 1, and my absolute favorite Star Wars game of all time is the original Star Wars Battlefront 2. If you guys inside that and everything did check my live stream and said that I did play, I believe it was, I don't know, I did a live stream of this and like that for a little while and everything. I played it on Steam, obviously, because I couldn't capture the gameplay off of the PS2. But yes, guys, the original Star Wars Battlefront 2, of all the Star Wars games I have ever played, this has always been the game that I've always gone back to because it was fantastic. Obviously, and so that it was a lot better than the original first Battlefront. You could actually play as, more Jedi and stuff like that, and Sith in this one. They had absolutely amazing locations. It pretty much covered just about any location in the Star Wars universe you could possibly think of. This game was great and so that to play online and so that back in the day. I'm not gonna lie, I've actually played this Verser and so that with a couple of guys and so that I know. So if you guys are watching this and everything, you guys know this is one of my favorite games on PS2. This game is definitely one of those and so that just holds like one of the top 10 spots in my PlayStation collection. Like if I have to go like my favorite PS2 games, this game and so that is always in my top 10 list. So if you guys inside and everything have a PC inside that and are interested in this, you should definitely go check it out. It's like a $10 game and you will get hours upon hours of entertainment with it. Differences between with this game and the Battlefront 2 remake, though, is the fact that this one inside that story mode and so that covers basically the events of the 501st and the overthrow of the Republic, whereas opposed to the PS4 Battlefront 2 does cover the events and like that of, the First Order and things of that sort. So that is what makes the original and the remakes and so that different, if you guys are interested in knowing. Just a little Star Wars trivia for you. But yeah, guys, number 1 spot on this list. This is definitely my absolute all-time favorite. It always will be, and it will never change. So that's going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. And so that is just a top 10 and so that of the top 10 Star Wars games in my own personal collection. But as I said before, there are plenty of Star Wars games and so that out there. Everybody's got their own preference for them. A lot of these games and so that and everything are actually available on PC and Steam and so that. So again, if you guys are interested in any of the games that I did mention on this list, you should definitely go check them out. Steam usually does a pretty good job and so that of doing like specials and deals and stuff on them, so you can usually get them pretty cheap, despite the fact that these are very popular games. So just, it's just an idea and everything for you guys out there that are interested. And that's pretty much the video, guys. So I just wanted to thank you guys so much and so that for tuning in. I had a lot of fun and stuff that going through these and just kind of going through them, replaying them, and just sort of choosing like hey, this game I can go back and play this game literally anytime. Like, I love this game to pieces. And I had a lot of fun and so that and everything going through them, trying to pick my favorites. And I'm hoping that you guys did learn a little bit about these games if you didn't already know them. Again, I'm sure a lot of you have. And again, guys, this was just my personal opinion and everything, but I really would like to know what you guys' favorite Star Wars games are if you guys are fans. So if you could, do leave me a comment down in the comment section down below telling me what some of your favorite Star Wars games are, if you agree with this list, if you don't agree with this list. Again, guys, I would really love to know. So that's going to go ahead and wrap up for today's video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you did like the video, make sure to leave a like. If you have a comment for me, always leave it for me because I'll always get back to you. And make sure that you have subscribed to my channel if you haven't subscribed already. So that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. May the 4th be with you all. As always, keep it real, and above all, keep gaming. Oh, and also make sure that you do check out my last video inside that, and my most recommended video. I'll leave links inside to both of them in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow inside that for yet another exciting video. Keep it real, guys, and most of all, keep gaming. Catch you guys later.